Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have a gold top Epiphone Les Paul on the bench today. We're doing actually a whole laundry list of stuff on this guitar. It's brand new. The customer bought it as he's got a whole bunch of Gibson Les Pauls, but he picked this one up. He liked it and he went to town on it, and now he wants me to go to town on it. Basically, you can see we're working on the frets, and what we're doing is fret end dressing. They're kind of sharp, not terrible, but they're enough that he wanted it done. I've already done all of these. I'm getting ready to do these two right here. So we tape them off. Also, by the way, we put in new strap locks. We wired in a new Seymour Duncan. He does have a push-pull, so it took a little bit of sorting out to do that. You know, Seymour Duncan and Gibson, the color coding is not the same, so you have to know what you're doing as far as north start, south start, middle, so you can have the splitter work right. I didn't show that. I've shown it before. You can look it up. I do have videos posted about just that kind of job. Today's lesson is fret end dressing, and like I said, some of them are worse than others, but when you go like up the side like that, you can really feel it, and the ones that we've done, you don't. So, safe edge file. I got this one from Stu Mac. It's pretty small, tiny, meticulous work, and really what you're doing is feeling it. On this particular case, it's not the tang that comes up. It's really the rounded portion of the angle on the end of the fret that's catching, and you just kind of want to feel it with your finger. And sometimes you can take a paper towel and rub it across there, and you'll see what happens, or a nylon stocking. These are the two we're going to do. So you basically have to work the safe edge on the bottom, and you want to kind of work all around that whole part of that end crown. And hopefully my head won't be totally in the way. And then I'm going to feel to see if there's anything catching over the top. It's tedious as hell, but it is necessary. On some instruments, they don't come really, really well done. And move on to the next one. And you can almost hear it when it's catching a burr. Compare it against the other ones, and you can feel the difference almost right away, even before we sand it and polish it. Move to the other side, and for some reason it seems like this side is worse. And there is binding, so you got to be mindful of that. I'm not going to lie to you, there's no way to do it without, sometimes you nick it. It is what it is. Yeah, that one's got a real bad burr on it. It's catching. You know, from doing this, you're going to have some scratches on the top of the fret, so we have to address that. So that's the first part, and then I take just some ultralight sand pad, and just on the edge, a lot of different techniques to do this. Different guys do it differently. I do it this way. I found I've gotten more than acceptable results from it. So when you find a process that works for you, stick with it. And that should clean up most of the burrs, and then we'll go after it with coarse and then medium. This is to get the finish back on the fret end. Both sides, of course. Not an exact science, I can tell you that. But it works. If you go slow and really carefully, then you go to the medium, which is about half of that grit, and this is just going to clean it up the rest of the way. Soften up any scratches. Of course, it's easier to do this one way and then the other off camera. I'm going to do all of this one side, and then I'm going to come back and do this all one side. I'm going to flip the guitar around. I've already done all these up to here, and we're going to pause while I finish the rest of them. When we come back, we're going to do a quick polish on them, just to clean them up, and then we're going to oil the board, and it's time to restring. So stand by. So we're all done doing the fret ends. I don't know why they call it fret end dressing, because filing the ends and rounding them off and cleaning them up. I did take the time to clean up the entire fret in this process. And now I'm in the final step of that, of just putting some polish on each fret and buffing them. And yeah, you see the tarnish that comes off. This will stave off. It won't eliminate corrosion and tarnish, but it will stave it off for a while. It makes it last longer, nice and shiny. Try to use a clean piece of the cloth every time you do that. And all you're doing is buffing it and getting off that crap, right? And yeah, you can see the whole process there. That's what it looks like when you're done. Clean off the excess. And then we're going to oil it. So nice and smooth. They were really, really catchy. These down here aren't as nice as I would like them to be, but I'm always just over mindful of being in the pocket down here next to the body. Look, it's you're not. These I got really nice, but these here, maybe a little bit off. But I did do them, and they're better, 100% better, 100% better. We're going to oil the board, and then in this video we're going to stop before we do this restring and setup, only because there's so much to do. The next thing we're going to address is the saddle. the bridge and saddle assembly, because he has a specific request to check all the valleys, because it's a brand new guitar and it's not a high-end guitar by any means. He wants me to check and make sure there's nothing there that's going to catch a burr or wasn't finished quite right. Doesn't matter if it's a high-end or not. I've seen ugly saddles come out of the Gibson factory, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you what I do to kind of check that and address it. And it's not hard. You just have to get some magnifiers on and really first eyeball it. You got to look at it and see if you see anything that looks like it might catch a string. This board is really dry. This thing, I think, is going to take 2 applications. I mean, it is just soaking this oil right up. Probably the board is a couple of years old. Who knows? Who knows when Gibson mated all this together. You can go by the serial number, but that isn't going to help you much. I keep wanting to put my garbage over there. I moved to my garbage can because every time I'm filming a video and I go around there to lift up the headstock and adjust the truss rod, I kick my garbage pail. So I moved it over there, and now I keep trying to throw my garbage over there. Dummy. Oh no, we'll be good. Linseed oil. I don't care what anybody says. It's the best stuff for open exposed wood like this, especially if it's dark. Even if it's not. Open exposed wood grain, that stuff is the best. And it darkens it up a lot. It makes the true color of the wood come out. I've been using it for years and years and years. Go on the internet and everybody and their mother will argue about what kind of oil to put on a fretboard. Take it from your Uncle Blackjack. Linseed oil. And the last little thing that we're going to do, as far as and you can tell when I'm doing this, none of the paper towel is getting caught on the fret ends, and that is a good sign. Because usually on sharp fret ends or fret ends that have not been finished, when you get after it with a paper towel like that, yeah, you'll know, because there will be little white fluffies everywhere. I take and just one last buff on each fret. See how much more is still coming off? Why do I take the time to do this? Because I can. Because I care. I think it doesn't matter, but it does. It absolutely 100% does matter. There, fret ends are cleaned up. I did, kind of clean up the entire frets and oiled the board and buffed out and put some polish to get as much tarnish off as we can off the frets themselves. Saddle. So, two pneumatic. They each have a V cut in them, and they are intonated from the factory. Usually they get that pretty darn close. I am going to tell you, and put my Mr. Magoo eyes on, and what you're looking for is, like, I can see a burr in the E right there. My fingernail is actually catching it. There's a burr there. And it's actually on this side of the V, and it's visible to the naked eye. You can hear my finger getting caught in it. The rest of these don't look bad. But what I'm going to do is well, first of all, I'm going to clean that one. That burr needs to come out. So I need to find my triangular files. I don't think I have them. Oh, I have one in here. Not the specific one I'm looking for. This one's too big. It's a pretty fine file. Yeah, it's this guy right here. It's triangular, so is it the exact measurement of that? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. Now, point of interest. If you're going to try to do this, do not cut the saddle deeper. All we're trying to do is take the burrs off the sides. And if there's a burr down in the middle, of course, we got to try to clean that out too. But we're not trying to lower the saddle. We're not trying to make it deeper. We're just trying to clean the saddle valley. This one was really the only one that I saw needed attention. And that burr is gone. It doesn't catch my fingernail anymore. It sounds terrible, but that's what you got to do. And especially the leading edge. And make sure the takeoff point where it runs and goes up to the board, there isn't anything there that can catch it. What you call your takeoff point. The rest of these are fine. I'm just going to clean up the leading edge. Then I'm going to take some ultralight sandpaper if I can find it. If I can find it. And just kind of dig down in the valley and dig down in the valley and just give it a good once over. And that operation is complete. Also, when we go to string it, actually I might do it right now, is put a little dollop of tune-it lube. I know this is probably boring as hell, but this is some of the stuff that we do. It's a brand new guitar, and believe it or not, the client said, I want you to do this and make sure you check my saddles because it's brand new. So he must have had an experience in the past where he had a brand new guitar, I'm guessing, and something happened where he had tuning instability, and you know, burrs in the saddle can cause everything from tuning instability to snapping strings. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. Boy, that bass one was really bad, the low E. Nice and clean now. So, tune-it lube. Yeah, put a little dollop on the bench where you can see it. This is how I do it. Well, yeah, and always 100 times more than what I need comes out. I hate waste. And once it's out, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, god damn it. And I use a toothpick. Get a little on the the end of the toothpick. And when I say a little, I mean a little. You don't need a lot. Right down in the valley. And do this every time you string your instrument, people. I use the tune-it lube from Music Nomad. It seems to be I get the best results from that. Look, a lot of people use graphite lube in here. Pencil. Yeah, that'll work. Not as good as this tune-it lube. I've tried a lot of different things. I like this stuff. And that's all there is to that. And the same thing we're going to do up at the nut. We're going to put some in the nut slots. I'm going to do that now before I forget, but this thing was not sitting on there right the other day when I took the strings off. And it doesn't seem to want to. I think that it's fine once the string tension will hold it down, but one side seems to want to pop up, so the machining is a little off. Of one of the holes. That side right there doesn't want to go all the way down, but once the string tension gets on it, it'll hold it down. Tune-it lube in the nut slots, and I'm going to call that good for this video today. The next one is going to be restringing it and tuning it up and doing a setup, but I'm going to get down here in the film where you can see what we're doing. Nut slots, same thing, a little bit of tune-it lube, and I mean a little bit. Don't overdo it. And just a little bit in there. And this is, again, one of those overlooked things that people just don't do. People, when I say people, I mean technicians mostly. If you're stringing your own instrument, I recommend that you do it. Once you get all the strings on, take a cloth and just wipe the top. Okay, that'll keep any excess that got out there on it off. And my giant dollop over here, which I think I just put my glasses in. I did. Idiot! I gotta try it better next time. That's the second time in a week I've done that. A huge dollop of that stuff and waste it. Alright. So, you kind of saw how the process that we go through to dress the fret ends and make them smoother, more pleasurable playing experience. It's important. Whenever I get a customer's guitar, I always check that, and I tell them, hey, you know, your fret ends are really rough. If it's bothering you, we should take care of it. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, the player will go, no, I never even feel it. But when somebody points it out, that means they're paying attention and they do feel it, and they might think it's normal, but it's not. They can be smooth. It's okay. They don't need to be rough. Can you get them smooth, smooth, smooth? No, but there's, you know, like I said, the paper towel thing, if it's not breaking off and getting caught on the burrs, then you've done a good job. It's good. So we put that in there. I don't know if that was in there the last time, but he wanted this number 7 over his truss rod cover. Can't use the I tried to change out his tuning knob, volume and tone knobs. they're cheap offshore stuff. In fact, the little silver buttons that say volume and say tone on them, 3 or 4 of them popped off when I was trying to fit them on his pots, but no bueno. They're not the same spline as what's on the Gibson or the pots that are in there. They don't say Gibson on it, it's an Epiphone. But they're good pots. They are CTS, good 500K pots. I digress. So yeah, we'll be back on the next installment of this guitar. It's going to be basically a restring and a setup. And I am going to film that because it's a brand new guitar, because I want to take you through everything on how, you know, what we pay attention to on a brand new guitar and some of the other things on the client's laundry list. It's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. I try to read them all. I try to respond. I appreciate that you're engaging in my channel. It helps. Like and subscribe, share, and we'll talk soon.